Everyone, this is Sylvester, ACS DCO team. I'm doing a small tutorial on making the connector ends on fiber. Today we're going to be using multi-mode connectors and multi-mode fiber. This piece of fiber decided it wanted to sacrifice itself for our usage. We thank it. We're using multi-mode fiber, multi-mode connectors, boots. This here is going to be our cheat sheet, which I'll show later on. These here are the strippers, shears, connector holder, Sharpie. This is our cleaver, fiber cleanser, fiber cleansing wipes. I call this a compressor. I don't know the real name for it. And our video fault finder. I'm going to stop the tape here, and when I come back, we'll talk about shearing off the cable. This here is our special super duper cheat sheet. We use the bottom layer. On the outside, we have the cable. Under that, we have the buffer. Under the buffer is the glass part. We're going to make two shearings, all right, or sheathings, however you want to put it. One to take off this layer here, one to take off the layer inside the glass. We're going to do that next. The first thing you want to do is put your boots on. There are two size boots that come with the kit. For this fiber, we're going to use the bigger one because the bigger one is the one that fits. Take the boot, slide it on this way. Let your fiber come out a good little distance. And then get ready to put your markings down. For your first marking, you go to the end of the yellow. Start at the end of the sheet on the right side. Let it slide down. Come to the yellow. Take your trusty Sharpie. Make your first mark. With your shears, take the very first hole at the top, crimp it around, slide off the outside sheath. You'll have this Teflon inside that you don't need. So take your shears and cut it. Keep that to the side as well. I'm going to use the bag that the connectors come in later on to put the all the clippings and stuff in. The next sheath shear you want to do is going to be taking off the buffer. So put your cable back where the yellow end is, let it line up. Stretch out your buffer that has the glass inside of it, and make your next mark at the end of the orange. This won't be exact, but it's going to be close as possible. Then we're going to take the second hole in the shears, start at the end of the cable, and start taking off pieces. We're starting at the end because depending on the fiber, sometimes the buffer is on a little bit tighter. And if you start where you made your first mark, it'll bend it and it can break easily. And then you have to start all the way over. We don't want to do that. So, nice full strokes, crimp down hard. It'll cut around the buffer, pull on the other end, and it slides off. And make it a deliberate motion. And then you have your cable with the sheath, your buffer, and your glass. We're going to stop it here and get ready to cleave. This is our cleaver. It has 3 or 4 functions that we use to cut. The first one is a lock on the side. You press this down and it unlocks it, raises up your cleaver. The second is a placeholder. This comes up and it holds your fiber in place. We're going to put the buffer in here up to this very end. Then place this back down. This raises the blade inside the cleaver. You press it in, and when you close it, it pops back out. So to cut, press this in, raise the placeholder, take your fiber, place the buffer at the very end. You got your fiber buffer set at the very end. The rest of the glass is sitting out. Pull your holder down, press the bottom side in, cleaver comes down, and try it one more time. When I was trying to press it down earlier, it did not want to cut it right, but when I pulled it up, it did break where it needed to. So you'll see that I have the fiber sheath, the buffer, and then our piece of glass cut at the length it needs to be cut at. You always want to take these and put them somewhere safe. They will get in your hand or your eye or somewhere else you don't want them, and that's bad. So I'm putting it back in my trash bag. From here, you want to clean your fiber, but before I do that, I want to put my connector in this holder. Let it stay right there. To clean the fiber, you take your wipes, dab it a couple times to get some solution on it, and just slide it straight up in one direction. That gets off any ink or oils or whatever else you may have put on while you're working with it. The easiest way I've seen to do it is to take your boot. When I say do it, I mean put your glass fiber into the connector. Take your boot and slide it up to the top. Slide the fiber back and forth to get a good length that you like, enough to play with. And then this right here is strictly by feel. You want to slide your fiber inside the hole. It's going to feel kind of gritty when you first do it. But let it keep on going all the way back until it stops. You'll feel it when it hits the back. Take the connector on the sides and squeeze it. And it squeezes the solution and the glue inside the connector. Give it a nice simple pull to make sure it's in. And take your boot, slide it up, and twist it on. Once I get it on, I like to go ahead and mark it early so I won't confuse them later on. For this one, I'll just put A on it. Of course, we're using just one strand. For example's sake, we'd have two, A and B, but A just for this one. And I'll stop it here and show you how to test it. The last part is actually testing the fiber. You're going to use your visible fault identifier, or VFI. Turn it on. You have a red light flashing. Stick your connector in. You'll see the red part flashing in the very front. Go to the other end, and you might not be able to see it on the camera, but there's a red light flashing in my hand. You might be able to see it now. And that red light flashing lets you know that the fiber's good. If you want to test it the other way, because sometimes when you have to do the other connector and test backwards, plug your far end in and it'll flash, but if it flashes on this side, it's good. Flashes here, that means there's a break somewhere inside and you have to start over. But basically, that's how you make fiber. That's how we put the connectors together. When you finish up, make sure all your connectors or your old connectors, if you had some mistakes, are put up. Most importantly, the glass pieces, make sure those are put up because they can be dangerous. Everything's clean. Put your caps back on where they need to be. This is just some of the shortcuts I found. I know this tape was probably 20 minutes long by now, but these are some of the shortcuts I found. They helped me out a lot. I know we all know how to do this, but each one teach one. Those are my things I'm passing on to you. When you finish this up, hopefully there'll be something you can pass on to me. Thank you.